Let me show you guys how I made this beautiful baguette bag. First, if you have any baguette bag at home, you can take it and take the dimensions. For this, the wideness was 9 and the depth was 6. So I used 7 for my own depth and 10 for my wideness because I wanted it a little bit bigger, and I marked that out. So you just get a square. And then I used this cover. You can use any round cover to just round the edges a little bit. And then to get that curve, I found the middle point of the square and I came down by 1.5 just to get that curve. I had to go back and add extra 1 inch allowance on both sides so I can get space to like insert my zipper and my sides, like the sides for the bag. Now the next part I'm going to cut is the sides. So before I cut the sides, I have to take the measurement of the bag, like round it. So I measured it and I got 23, I be 22. And yeah, for the size of this bag, this one I had was 2. I wanted mine bigger, so I cut out 3 for the height and 22 for the length, 23 rather for the length. And I marked that out. Now I'm going to look for the center point of this side and I'm going to come down by 1/2 inch on both sides, and I'm just going to connect that to the center point. This is because the bag tapers down at the edge. It is not all same start to finish. So this is what it looks like, and this is how it's going to look like when you join it. So here I'm just cutting out the pieces for the bag, and I'm using a corduroy fabric. I'm going to cut out 2 pieces for the main shell fabric and then 1 piece of the side. Yeah, and I'm also going to cut interfacing for that. Like I use breast cup, I be breast pad. Yes, breast padding interfacing for that. And I'm also going to cut lining for each piece. So here we have the shell fabric and interfacing and lining. And then we also have the sides, the interfacing and the lining. Then I also went ahead to cut, I didn't film that, but I cut a long strip of fabric. I think it was 3 inches wide, Abby, on a fold, yeah, for the bag handle. So here I'm just joining the shell fabric with the interfacing, the padding, so it has thickness, like the bag can stand on its own. Get, so I'm just joining it. I made sure to join it all around so it stays in place properly. Next thing I'm going to do is just add my tag to personalize the bag a little bit. So I added my tag to that. I'm going to do the same thing for the other piece and also the side piece. Now I'm going to get my zip. You can use whatever zip you have, a short or a long one. And I'm going to match the center point of the zip to the center point of my shell fabric and pin that down. And I'm just going to sew this down all the way around that curved edge. And after doing this, I'm going to join the other parts of my shell fabric to the other side of the zipper, matching the center point to the shell fabric just like I did before. And if you notice here, I switched to my zipper foot so I can get closer to the zip. I didn't do that for the first zip because I forgot. Anyways, I zipped this up and then we're going to do the next thing, which is adding the side. And if you notice, I also added padding to the sides to the interface. I added it. Now we're going to match the center point of the sides to the shell fabric, like the main piece. I usually like to notch around the curved edges just to make this easy to attach. Whenever I'm sewing around curved edges, I just notch it a little bit. Now I'm going to pin this down all around, pin the sides to the shell fabric and just sew all the way around. Forget that this thing clip is sped up. Take your time with this. Slow and steady wins the race. Take your time and sew all around this. Since we already notched, it's not going to be so hard. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other part of the bag. Just sew all the way around, and this is what we have. This is how the bag looks. Now I'm going to repeat this entire process for the lining. I already added zipper to the lining off cam, so you can add zip or a pocket to your lining. So for the background, I didn't cut out any particular length. I just made it very, very long. And then for the wideness, I used 2 inches on a fold, which is when you open it is 4 inches. So just make it as long, very, very long. So when you're scrunching it up, you have a lot of fabric to scrunch up. Now this is a trick I learned online. I'm going to use that string to turn this over to the front when I'm done sewing it down. Just sew it like you normally would. and then I use the string to like pull it out over to the front, and then I cut that open. So we have two open ends of the bag hand, and I iron this down flat like so. So for the elastic, I use the same size of elastic as the bag hand, so the elastic will not be like, to not be turning inside the hole. So I pull that open and see how scrunched up that is. So the more fabric you use, the more scrunchies you're going to get. And then I just sewed on the elastic so it stays in place. And then we're going to attach this to our bag. And please, I would advise you use a zipper that can open all the way, like can open it up completely. So this part is going to be easy for you, or the part where you have to join the lining is going to be easy for you. So I'm just going to pin this down and sew it down to hold that in place. And this is what it looks like after I finish joining that. Now, so the best part and the most annoying part, we have to attach the lining to this. We have to finish it to the lining. And if you notice the lining, I've already added my extra pocket, zipper pocket, and I left one part of the lining open because that's where we're going to pass everything through when we're done attaching the lining to the shell fabric. So I'm just going to put the lining in front side facing front side. You can turn this over to the back so it's easy for you. Front side of the lining facing the front side of the fabric, and then we're going to match the center point of the lining to the center point of the shell fabric with the zipper in between. So the zipper is encompassed in between both lining and fabric. And I'm just going to sew this down, and if you notice, you'll see that I trimmed off the interfacing on the zipper part, so it's less bulky and easy to maneuver. And after sewing this down, I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, and then I'm going to turn this over to the front so you guys can see how it looks well finished. Now we're going to iron this flat and then top stitch on it so it gives a neater finish. So I'm top stitching very close to the zipper, but not too close, just sew that down so it's nice and flat. Now this is what it looks like. This is what we have. Now to finish this open side up, we're going to zip this up slightly, just zip it halfway and then turn it over to the back again so we can finish the opening at the back. When you turn this over to the back, we're going to sew down the zipped up part first. Get the part that is slightly zipped up, we're going to sew it down. Just hold everything like so and sew it down. Everything, both zipper, lining, and shell fabric together. But take note, this is bulky and it's going to be very difficult to sew, so good luck to you. I struggled. I'm not even going to lie, I struggled. But when I turned over to the front, that is how it looked. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, just that this side, you're going to bring the zipper closer. That side, because it's open, so you're going to draw the zippers closer to each other, like hold them close to each other before you sew, so it's clean and nice in the front. So after doing that, I turned over to the front and this is how it looks. And what's left is just to finish up the opening that we have in our lining. We're going to finish up that opening. So my own opening, I made it quite wide, so I'm just going to turn this over to the back and just sew it close a little bit before I finish it up from the front. So that's what I'm doing here. I turned it over to the back and just stitched it close slightly. I left a little opening which I pulled the bag to the front through, and I'm going to just finish that up, close that opening up, just by folding this over and top stitching on it, just slightly, very, very close to the edge, not so much. And yeah, that's how I made my baguette bag. Rate this attempt over 10 and let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's how the bag looked on the outside. And on the inside, I added pockets to my lining, so you can do that, it's optional. And this is the final result. Let me know in the comments if you'll be attempting this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I took my bag out for lunch. I liked it. I loved it. Like, it was the perfect bag for my feet. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.